Welcome, masters and mistresses of the digital world. I am Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, bringing you another third-party review. This review is brought to you by titanonetoys. titanonetoys provided this review sample, and they are awesome. Hit them up on Facebook. Hit them up on, I guess that's their eBay store right there. Hit them up. Talk to them. He is the best. No joke. Not even a little bit of a joke. Today we're going to be reviewing the Unique Toys Kalecgos. Kalecgos? Kalecgos. I'm not exactly certain how to... It's one of those weird World of Warcraft names that that has... You're just not sure of the pronunciation of it. But he's cool. He's a big boy. I unfortunately don't have an MP10 handy, but, you know, MP10 comes up to about like a tiny bit shorter than him. There's pictures of it online. It's amazing. Like, this guy's huge, and he's so cool looking. It just always impresses me when they come out with, like, a really big third-party figure like this, and it's just like, you know, they're doing something right. They really are. I have been very impressed with Unique Toys for quite some time. I mean, gosh, when I did the four-way review of the Springers, the Unique Toy Springer was definitely my favorite based off the engineering alone. My review of I got the Unique Toys Perukill. That's actually the first Unique Toys toy that I personally owned, and it just blew me away. It still blows me away. That may actually be my very favorite toy of 2017. These guys have always been impressive. These Ragnaros Combiner guys have been impressive. This is now the third one that I'm reviewing. And like, I got some Palm Series, the little Headmasters, legend size ones. I'll be reviewing them soon. Those things are like super cool. So I'm just super impressed with everything Unique Toys has been doing. They have come a long way from when they made their first offering, which was that third-party Predaking, and it looked terrible. Which, by the way, it still looks terrible. I wouldn't recommend it. But anyhow, so this is Unique Toys' take on Onslaught. As you can see, it's not really Onslaught. It's just some other guy. It's Kalecgos, you know, clearly, because he's blue, you know. Kalecgos in World of Warcraft is a blue dragon character guy, and I think that's why they named him after this, because he's blue, you know. But anyhow, he's really cool. He hits so many of the points. Now, he doesn't seem to go as slavish to the cartoon design as the previous ones. Here we go. I've got their Archimonde and Gazranka, so you can see the three of them all together. Note that the visors have been painted on these guys. That's on my to-do list, actually, is to paint this guy, because light piping is kind of dumb, but whatevs. It's okay, whatevs. It's not a deal breaker in the slightest. But this one seems to be based more off of, you know, it's not based as much off of the cartoon design as these guys, but I think that aesthetically they go very good together. Like he's kind of greebly in his legs, but there's a, you know, fair amount of surface detail on some of these other guys, especially in places that makes it so it doesn't look out of place. Like, they aesthetically go together very well. And just, yeah, he looks the part of Onslaught. Like this is how you'd imagine Onslaught to be. I don't know. Maybe not you personally, but certainly me. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's get into poseability. And I will point out, as much as I like this toy, it is not a perfect figure. And I say that a lot because I feel that I have yet to hold a perfect figure. But it is a very good figure. If I were to if I was to take a point of exception with this, I think that his arms. So he's got this setup where there's like this accordion joint in here, and it's really weird because when you pull on this arm, it wants to move at this like little accordion joint. It doesn't want to move up at the shoulder or here at the elbow the way it should. And it doesn't like really, like it recesses fully, but it doesn't really click in. Oh, yeah, I guess there's a bit of a click there. Oh, well, I guess there's a bit of a click there, but now it like sucks it way up there and parts are banging on each other. I don't know. It kind of hides the definition of his elbows. I don't know if that's necessarily better visually. But the other thing is that his bicep swivel is flippin' tight, man. Like ridiculously tight. And it's tight enough that it causes like issues with posing around. And you turn this. Like I definitely recommend holding the shoulder as you run this bicep swivel, because otherwise you're like wrenching on this shoulder joint. And I don't recommend doing that because that could have catastrophic consequences later on. But I mean, all in all, he's still a very good figure. I'm just pointing out some of the things that I've noticed that that may need to be addressed while you're playing with this figure and posing it. In terms of articulation, his head is on a pivot. It goes up and down, twists all around as much as you wish. Just, dual joint there. His shoulder goes out all the way. Goes around on a nice little ratchet. It's not a real clicky ratchet, but it's definitely a ratchet. You can even see like the teeth of it in there. His elbow moves a little more than 90 degrees. A little more depending on how far you're willing to push this panels and stuff out of the way. He's got that bicep swivel that is flippin' tight, as I mentioned. He's got a wrist rotation. His thumb is on a ball joint, and each of his fingers are individually posable at two positions in the finger. And so there's that. He does have a waist swivel, a very nice, very smooth waist swivel. At one point, I felt that it might have been ratcheted, but maybe there's just something that it was banging up against. I don't know. He's got this little skirt armor comes out of the way. His leg moves all the way forward, most of the way back. That joint is very stiff because this, of course, is going to be the leg of something larger than himself. But that leg joint will come into play later, and so it does need to be very stiff by necessity. His knee joint, knee goes about 90 degrees. Oh, hey, I forgot to mention the Van Damme. Yeah, that's a full Van Damme right there, 100%. A good ratchet too. Thigh swivel, knee joint's about 90 degrees. Ankle tilt. So when he does the Van Damme, he can like stand in between like two airliners, or maybe like two city formers, or like something, I don't know. Good range of foot articulation there. And then his toe joint will move a bit and his heel will move a bit. Both of these are primarily for transformation. But, you take what you can get when you need it, because that's just how poseability works. His cannon here, you can move it around. It is meant to be tabbed in securely. It's actually really nice. Gosh, he just looks really good, even from the back. Even from the back, you look at him and he's got these like cool details here, and just I dig it. A lot of times you'll see this thingamajig plugged into the back here. It just plugs straight on. There's no requirement that you leave it there. There's no requirement that you take it off. I think it looks kind of odd being there. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I think that it looks better when it's taken off. I gotta be honest with you guys. Ever since I picked up the Toy World Constructor, I've been a big fan of not necessarily integrating all of your combiner parts into it. My analysis of the constructor design has impressed upon me that figure was infinitely made better by having those parts be separate. And as I've looked around at other combiners, like if you have the combiner parts separate, it tends to make the figures better. So, I mean, that being said, I don't fault like Ocular Max is making their own set of Combaticons, and all of their combining parts are going to be integrated, and I think it's cool. But I don't know that it's certainly not necessary, and I don't even know necessarily that it's better. But that's just my 2 bits worth. But let's get this guy transformed up into his vehicle mode. We're going to start with the legs. That's where I'm going to start. So we're going to pull this panel up, flip the sucker around, and it's going to click back down onto the same 2 pegs there. We're going to open this up, and then this is going to fold down. Gosh, the legs are stupid simple, aren't they? Open this, pull this out, flip it around. Actually, am I going the right way? Come to think of it, I may actually want it this way. So these actually don't get flipped around. They get flipped around for something later, but not this one. Or maybe they're supposed to be flipped around in robot mode. I don't actually have a set of instructions. That's my excuse. I don't have the set of instructions. I just kind of eyeball it and wing it. And it tends to work out fairly well for me. It's not as disastrous as it could be. But all right, there's the back of him there. Let's get up in here. Let's pull these panels out. Folding up the hands is kind of fun because they don't fold like your normal, or it's just I mean, they kind of do, but they kind of don't. So let's get it folded up into a square fist, like so. And then you kind of wiggle this out and you kind of pull on this so you get this whole thing put out, and then you open that panel. The fist rotates around and then it closes right back. Actually, you got to rotate that fist and then it comes around and it closes back up. Because if you don't rotate that fist, the back of his hand gets in the way of the stuff closing up properly. And again with the other side, make a square fist. Open this up, pull that around, flip that, close this. That's starting to look like the front of a truck, man. We're going to take this and we're going to rotate this full 180 degrees. That'll get that into position. We're going to take this little doohickey here and put it all the way around. You can leave it out in truck mode. It looks kind of silly, but you know, if you really want to, or if you forget, just be warned that if you forget to put it in at this point, you can't really do it later. And so then you got to be like, oh yeah, it's just it's a complete truck. That's it right there. And everybody's like, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. That's cool. Not realizing that it's just sticking out there. I'm sorry. I'm actually making fun of my friend who had the unfortunate effect of forgetting to put that in there. Anyhow, once we've got this chest open like that, we're going to pull up on this waist section right here, like this. And what that does is that unpegs. There's this little peg right here that actually pegs into this core spinal column that you can then extend out. And then you can see here, so there's not actually a slot at the bottom. There's just, it sticks underneath the flat of this part here. But there's a slot there. And so once we get this out, we're going to slide this up a bit, not all the way. And peg it back into this little joint right there, a little tab. And that's where we're going to go with that for now. Once we've got that squared away, we're going to open this, turn his head all the way around, flip it 180 degrees, close that. We're going to pull these up and start to convince them to become one. Oh, one other thing. So there are these pegs right here. Getting my tool. There are these pegs right here that will need to be pulled out. And this peg is going to go into that hole. More or less. The peg is on a hinge, and so you got to kind of massage it into the right place. But it's kind of important because it helps keep everything together. This peg, I don't know, you may just want to like leave that out. Like it's designed to fold up, and it's cool that it folds up. But you may want to leave it out because it doesn't really hamper the robot mode at all. So now that we're in this position right here, we're going to put these back up together. And there's going to be a couple pegs in here. You can see them sticking out. And we're just going to peg all that together. Oh, whoops. I kind of pushed in the windshield, which isn't what I wanted to do. All right, peg all that together. And then this part here, we're going to put this on this double joint here. And there's a slot here and a tab here. And we're going to bring it around and put that tab into the slot. Or rather, put the slot onto the tab. And then last but not least, we're going to take these wheels. Oh, sorry, not almost last but not least. These sides of his torso need to fold up. Then we're going to take these and fold them down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is almost a truck. This part needs to go up, otherwise it doesn't sit flat. It's funny, I forgot that last time as well. And my buddy pointed it out to me. He's like, haha, you didn't mess with the dick plate. And I was like, ah. And there he is in the truck mode. And he looks good. He looks really good. I like this a lot. He hits, again, he hits all the good Onslaught parts, you know. He fits the aesthetic of being the big blue military-esque-ish military truck with the big cannons on top. He's got a spot here where I'm sure you could put like a tank. If you happen to have a tank, or maybe you could put like a Humvee or a Jeep, you know, or maybe you could put like a space shuttle, or possibly a helicopter. Just saying, all sorts of things you could do with that spot right there. He looks really good from all modes. A little dubious about this here. I mean, it's nice that they made the window on that out of a clear plastic piece, but it is literally just right on top of the blue plastic underneath it. So like it's like, I mean, if you look inside here, like there's enough hollow in there that it looks dark and it doesn't really, you can imagine that there's something in there, but here, like, they're just showing you straight up. Yeah, there's nothing past that point. So anyhow, he does come with some accessories. And a couple things you can do with this. Let me put this to the side. If you take the guns from Archimonde and you take his strange module from Archimonde, you can pull the sides of these off and stick that right there, and then stick these right here. Yeah, we're getting somewhere now, right? Stick these under here. And now you've got some, like, I don't know, weird looking turret thing. I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. I think it's kind of odd. I mean, yeah, it's nice that they're trying to find something to do with it, but ultimately, I think it's kind of odd. Another thing that you can do, as I'm taking a look at this, there does appear to be, like, holes right here. Looks about the same size as this slot here. Will that peg in? I don't know. No. Clearance issues don't want to make that fit. I don't know, unless maybe the gun was out of the way. It fits in that hole. But now that part doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it's not meant to go there. Maybe I'm just grasping at straws. But there he is. Kalecgos. Trying to remember how to pronounce his name. I think he's cool. I think he's awesome. I think the combined mode is going to be fantastic. I would put it into combined mode, but, as they say, it kind of spoils the fun to see her before the wedding night. But rest assured, I will be putting it all together on camera one day soon. And rest assured that it's probably going to be freaking awesome. And then I'm probably going to do a comparison between these guys and the titanonetoys ones, which also look awesome in their own way. Mostly in their combined way, but, that's neither here nor there. But, gosh, I think I'm becoming, little by little, actually, this is helping it a lot. I think I'm becoming a Unique Toys fanboy. I like this. I like this a lot. I may need these in my life. Gosh, I don't have the money for that. But anyhow, thanks everyone for watching. You're all awesome. And everybody have a good day and be good to each other. I'll see you later.